800 Sandals.
Thank you all.
Mr. President, what are you trying to accomplish with your staff shakeup today? Can you explain to us what you're trying to accomplish?
Make America great again.
Anything you can tell us?
And we're back. You're watching CNN. I'm Brooke Baldwin, continuing our special coverage in this major shakeup today inside the Trump White House. Sean Spicer out after 6 months and a day as the White House press secretary, though he says he'll stay on until August. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she will be the third female press secretary ever to helm the post when he completes his job. All of this as the president names a new White House communications director. This man, Anthony Scaramucci, he is a 53-year-old Wall Street financier and former Trump campaign fundraiser. And today he made his praise and love for President Trump clear.
I think there's been, at times, a disconnect between the way we see the president and how much we love the president and the way some of you perhaps see the president. But I love the president, and I'm very, very loyal to the president. And I love the mission that the president has. I love the president. I obviously love the country. I love the president. And the president is a very, very effective communicator. The president has really good karma, okay? The president himself is always going to be the president. I was in the Oval Office with him earlier today, and we were talking about letting him be himself, letting him express his full identity. I think he's got some of the best political instincts in the world, and perhaps in history. If you think about it, he started his political ascent two years and 2 months ago, and he's done a phenomenal job for the American people. And the people I grew up with, they so identify with the president and they love him, and so we're going to get that message out.
All right, so let's talk now to three White House reporters. CNN's Caitlin Collins, Jonathan Lemire with the Associated Press, who was in the room. Abby Phillip also was there, Washington Post. Also with me here in New York, CNN senior media correspondent Brian Stelter. And Abby, let me just begin with you. As I was watching Scaramucci, all I kept thinking was of Sade and Smooth Operator.
Yeah, that's actually a great analogy for this moment. Look, this is one of the main reasons why he's standing up at that podium today. When I talk to people, they say that in the last couple of weeks, the president has been watching him on television, and he likes what he sees. He sees him going out there, defending him very eloquently, doing it without missing a beat. And he likes the combativeness. It's something that the president wants in his spokesman. It doesn't hurt that Scaramucci looks the part for this job. And all of that really matters at this point in time. Beyond that, there's a pretty long-standing relationship and a desire from the president to really give his White House a refresh. He doesn't think that he's getting the credit that he deserves for what's going on. And Scaramucci gave voice to a lot of that today in the briefing room.
I loved how Dana put it at the top of the coverage, saying essentially, you know, when Trump looks in the mirror, Scaramucci is what he thinks he would like to see, and so on the style he gets, you know, major checkpoints, but Brian Stelter on substance, you know, yes, he hails the president as successful, though, you know, name me one major legislative win in the first 6 months. I mean, what do we know on substance with him?
Substance is what's lacking today, and we'll see down the line if there are improvements from this White House about answers to questions and about action on the president's priorities. For as much as we can say about Sean Spicer and why he resigned today, his tenure was checkmarked, or it was checkered by errors, by misstatements, by confusion from the podium. And that is ultimately the president's responsibility. It's the president who sets the tone by making confusing, misleading, contradictory statements, by sometimes outright lying. So will that change with the new communications director? I guess we'll see about that. We're at the 6-month mark, and the Sunlight Foundation, which is a nonprofit that studies transparency in government, which didn't give Obama great marks, says Trump is much worse. That this administration is hostile toward the press and is a secretive government. We'll see if Scaramucci and Sanders now as the press secretary are going to change that. I think it's going to be very hard to change. Just because he's a smooth operator, and he was today, doesn't mean this White House is not in crisis.
Jonathan, you were in the room. What was your impression? Has he genuinely seemed to be taking almost every question on day one?
It's certainly a contrast in styles between his first day behind the podium and Sean Spicer's first day behind the podium. You might recall that Spicer, it was the day after the inauguration, he came out here, he delivered a very combative screed against the press in the room about the size of the crowd that the president drew, saying that it was far greater than what President Obama had drawn 8 years earlier. And he left without taking any questions. Today it was very different. Scaramucci was seen very relaxed. He was calm. He joked around a little bit, made some self-deprecating cracks. At the same time, he did push back against the press corps here, suggesting that we have not given the president fair coverage. But he did so with a far more ease and charm, and he even blew a kiss when he walked off the podium at the end of it.
Yes, he did. I've seen the GIF. Caitlin, to you, just on, he was asked about the relationship with Steve Bannon, says, you know, he's looking forward to working with him, but from reporting I've seen, you know, no love lost between these two, and even including Reince Priebus, you know, looking at previous Sarah Murray reporting that, you know, he was up for previous appointments that were quashed by the chief of staff. Can you just tell us about the inner workings of the West Wing involving Scaramucci?
Well, absolutely, and a lot of that was what led to Sean Spicer's resignation today. Last night, we found out that Sean Spicer, Steve Bannon, and Reince Priebus were largely kept in the dark as the Trump administration narrowed down and decided that Scaramucci was going to be the next communications director. This is a position that they've had a lot of trouble filling, and I'm sure that Sean Spicer and Reince Priebus were hoping it was someone from their RNC side, someone that's a Washington creature like they are, and they ended up getting Scaramucci, who is exactly a Donald Trump creature. He's from New York. He's smoothly dressed. He talks, and he's very smooth when he talks, and he speaks of a White House that is running perfectly. That's exactly what Donald Trump wants, representing his administration on television, and that's why he selected him to take this position. But it's created a lot of controversy behind the scenes in the West Wing. A lot of staffers were shocked today when they found out that he was being hired. They said they were left in the dark and they did not know that this was happening today.
Also from our reporting, though, I think it was Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner embracing this move. They believe that this will be the reset that the White House needs.
Family always comes first, right?
We shall see day one. Thanks, everyone.